What is up, everybody? Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And since 2020, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And looking around his home is good, and I can honestly say that friend.
Yes, sir.
Friend, Mr. Roger Dundas. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Vibe, the vibe of the city. How are you?
And you know, whenever I call Roger, goes vibe of the city, Dr. Vibe. I say I need to get that on a voiceover. So I gotta have to. I see how much of I can afford Roger to take a few moments of his precious.
I'll do it free for you, my friend. I'll do it
100%.
For you. It's free always.
100%. How? Well, you know what? For people who don't know about Roger, share a little bit about us with Roger Dundas.
Yeah, me. You know what? I am the co-founder, publisher of ByBlacks.com. We've been around from 2013, so that's what, 12 years now? 12 years. Yeah. We've been doing this. So we focus on telling Black Canadian stories, and then we started doing a ByBlacks Restaurant Week in 2021. When we just started it, we were doing it twice per year. So that would have been spring and fall, May and November. And then after the third year, we quickly realized that it was so much work. It's intense, and I'll go into the intensity of it. So we cut it back now to just once a year, which is in May. So it's a spring thing. We figure, winters are long.
Still going on. By the
way,
yeah,
it's feeling sprinterish, and winters are long. So when it's ended, people start they want to go out. They want to try new things. They've been bottled up. They want to go try new restaurants. And I figured that was a better time to hold than the November time.
100%. Yeah. What made you start this
Restaurant Week?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It was in the middle of the pandemic, and to be fair, we were looking at doing Restaurant Week from 2018. So at the time when we were looking at doing the Restaurant Week, this didn't pan out in 2018. It had a different slant, different set of partners and everything. And we quickly realized that the best way to do it is for us to just slap our name on it and do it. And the reason for it really is twofold. One, maintenance of culture, right? So I find that restaurants and establishments that allow people to gather and congregate are ways for us to maintain our culture, having a space where we feel comfortable as Black people that we can go to and see our own food, right? So, promoting the food businesses across the country was, we thought it was important to us. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that I always found that the restaurants, they didn't market themselves as much as they needed to. And I would say that that's a blanket statement right across the board for all restaurants. The only people I find that do it really successfully, of course, are the big chains, because they have that budget. They have a corporate budget and an infrastructure in place to deal with it. But I find that the smaller establishments, they're so focused on getting stuff done, like, getting important. Some people would say equally important. I would say it's equally important, but getting the food cooked, getting the operations done, cleaning the place, paying the bill. There's other things that need to be done in a sourcing product. But the marketing is also critical, because without clients, then there's no business, right? So we found that we were able to work with a team of people, and I'm not talking about the ByBlacks team now. I'm talking about working with Black community associations across the country. So guys, it's at least, let me see. So there, 1, 2, 3, probably about 14 Black community associations that we're working with, if not more, because it's not just the I know people think like, there's a BBABC over in Vancouver. There's the Black Culture Society at PEI. There's New Brunswick. There are different ones. There's the BBI in Nova Scotia, but there's another one. There's all these layers: the Chamber, the Black Chamber, the ACBN, the BBPA, the BOF, the Black Opportunity Fund, Black North Initiative. There's so many Black community associations that we're asking respectfully to help to promote their constituents. And then there's the destination marketing organizations. Those are the tourism boards. I would say that they have really stepped up a lot in assisting in the promotion of the restaurant. So everything from Destination Vancouver all the way over to Discover Halifax, Tourism New Brunswick, Tourism PEI, and everything in between. So there's a lot of people. And then, of course, people like the Dr. Vibe Show, the Black media. Black Canadian media has been so instrumental in making sure this thing gets a voice and that people have an opportunity to tell their stories about their food and their establishments and what they do. So it's a combination of things. I would say overall probably more than 100 people to connect with, just on the coordination piece, and then most importantly the restaurant owners. So they're the ones that this is all about. They have to understand it's about culture maintenance. They look at it from a business. I want to make a profit. We look at it from a we want you to be there in business, successful, so that we can get food that we can relate to and have spaces where we can congregate.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So now you see why Rogers peeled back from twice a year to once a year. Right?
Wow.
What has changed in the industry from your lens for Black restaurants from the time you started till now? Or has anything changed?
So one of the things I see for sure is the increase in dine-in establishments. So I would say before that, if you go back to let's go back in time. Let's go back to 2015. And if you can name in 2015 how many proper dine-in, where somebody is coming to your table, somebody's going to seat you, somebody's come to your table, somebody's going to take your order and then serve it, offer you what. That was not really a thing, I would say, for a lot of Black restaurants. But a lot of Black-owned restaurants were offering takeout. At best, takeout with a facility that you could sit down and eat the takeout in the restaurant. So there's a proliferation of dining establishments across the country, not just in the GTA. So that's one change I've seen. The other change I've seen is that I would say the majority of the newer restaurants that are open. Now, when I mean newer, I mean not a new restaurant in a chain of restaurants like Potluck or Sunrise or whatever, but a brand new restaurant. They tend to be more, I would say 75% of them are African cuisine. So that's something. And I'm saying that looking at restaurants opening up in British Columbia, in Alberta, in Manitoba, in New Brunswick, in PEI, and I look at the names and I look at the cuisine that's offered and everything, I'd say it's more African restaurants. And I think that's tracking with immigration, is what I would say. What immigration patterns. I'm not sure that a lot of people are still coming from the Caribbean. I'd say most of them are coming from the motherland, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go to break, I always like to share this with people, and when you're not on, I like to share this with people. How many Black-owned restaurants have you been to across this country? I want people to hear this.
Oh, that's crazy. Over 350 at this point. So the thing is, I mean, I'm very intentional about it. Some people are not intentional about it. Some people will go to a city and still, go to, what's the name of that, like Montana's or wherever else, right? Those chains, right? I am looking for that Black-owned restaurant. It doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter how small the city is or whatever. I found Black-owned restaurants in Alliston, in Kingston, in Prince Edward County, right? Of course, when I went to Halifax, I tried to go to all of them that were in Halifax. So it was like, yeah, it was. I went to 8 of the 10 that's in Halifax and the Halifax general area. So maybe I'm just a little bit more intentional about it. Right now, of the 20 odd restaurants that are just from the GTA, right? 20 odd restaurants are just from the GTA. There's only 3. Sorry. 4. I think there's 4 of them that I haven't been to. Yet.
Thank you.
And by the end of this week, I would have gone to all those 4 specifically.
You know what? We need to get sponsorship of Roger Does Restaurant.
No,
We'll have you on camera filming you doing all these.
No. Because okay. I leave those things. So I'm not an influencer. I don't want to be an influencer.
No. Just the journey, not the influencer.
Yeah.
That's the journey.
We leave those things to Ryan Hinkson and Big Daddy Mel and Cherish Maggie and Oxtail Pappy and all those guys. Wayne. All those guys. They do a phenomenal job in covering Black-owned restaurants. We really love the content that they're putting up.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I don't know if it's very rare that I've had so many people on the platform. And just an FYI, Roger's going to be driving the conversation because he knows them. I'll just drop in once in a while and put a little pepper sauce in.
I'm a co-pilot. You're the pilot, man.
No. We work together and win together today. Today. All right. So we're just going to go for a quick break and then do a little show housework. And then we are going in on this conversation. So we'll be right back.
ByBlacks Restaurant Week, an amazing week. Flavorful week. We are eating good.
It's a national campaign created to promote Black-owned Canadian cuisine, food trucks, pop-up kitchens, and chefs.
Go out, taste the food, enjoy it, and get to know us and to get to know our culture.
Puts the spotlight on Black-owned dining establishments right across the country, not just here.
I love that spot. I like that person. ByBlacks Restaurant. Do you know who that is?
That's Marlon from Flow 987 on the morning show.
So
Marlon.
So good. Good.
There's 5 restaurants providing them with food next week.
Okay.
I can't remember who the 5 are, but they really enjoy it and they really go to town with it when they get that food. And I think there's the drive show as well. If the restaurants can accommodate it and give the drive show also bigs them up as well. And it made a major impact. I just want to tell one quick story. For those guys who hesitate and are like, oh, this thing doesn't work or whatever. I remember last year on a Friday, Carib Dish from Barry was the one that was providing food for them. And he said he went down there. He dropped off the food. We have to drop it off at like 7:15 in the morning. So it's early, I understand. And so he dropped off the food. It's Barry he was coming from, right? And he said by the time he got back up to the restaurant, there was a lineup. They had already spoken about the food.
Whoa.
People had already heard it on the radio. And people showed up at his establishment. I want to tell you something. Carib Dish was the first restaurant to sign up last year. Very first.
All right. Let's do some quick comments. How so we can get the posse up here. So Wayne Harris says, good morning, Doctor and Roger, and the McMillan Group, Ray, otherwise known as the Godfather. Good morning, folks. Looking forward to a great conversation. Well, we're going to do our best. All right. So as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. I hope this conversation gets us to 1,800 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, and you're up to it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also join our Discord group. You can email me at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com or click on the link that's there to advertise your business, product, or service on our platform. Again, email me. And also can't forget our good friend, Dr. Tachi out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She is the power behind Indie Soup Media, which is an independent content creators channel that has been around for 13 months and has over 26,000 YouTube subscribers.
Wow.
And just like I always want to magnify it, only 4% of all YouTube channels have over 10,000 subscribers. She's been able to do it in 13 months, 26,000.
That's impressive.
All right. And one other thing, because we're going to talk about all these other places, do not forget about ByBlacks. Right? Their website, byblacks.com. There they are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget that. I'll put most of this information in the comment sections on most of the platforms that I have access to for the replay. All right.
Platform too.
Huh?
We're on the Musk platform as well.
Well, I didn't have any more space. I didn't want to make it too. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. All right, let's do it. So I'm gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chef, I don't know, Chef T. He's okay. There we go. I got to. There's just so many people. I got to put the banner.
Oh my
down.
God!
I can hear you guys. This is sexy.
Look at these beautiful black faces. Huh? Oh my God!
Roger, why don't you do the introduction?
Yeah, I could try.
Oh, don't stop it.
All right. How should I do this? You know what? Let me just go in alphabetical order. So I'm gonna start with. I think F would come first. Frontlines. So Frontlines is a very unique business. It's actually a non-profit organization that has set up a culinary school to help underserved youth, Black youth, to learn how to cook. And of course, Keisha and Chef Marty can dig deeper into what it is that they do, how they're doing it, and what they're offering for ByBlacks Restaurant.
All right, let him go for it.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Roger, and of course, Dr. Vibe. Thank you so much for having us. We just wanted to, of course, just to share a little bit about what we do at Frontlines and how we would love for the community to support us. We do offer programming for youth, as Roger mentioned. We have youth within the Western communities in Mount Dennis who are, mostly marginalized or, impacted by different circumstances. So what we do is we try to incorporate them in programming that will provide them with opportunities that will enable them to access the job market, right? So they get training. Our culinary program is one of our main flagship programs. We certify them, we train them, we certify them, and then we provide them with job placements. But aside to that, a part of the culinary department is that we operate a social enterprise, and those students actually do get employed by the culinary department. So everything that we produce is by the community, and we represent our community in our food preparation. We have Caribbean food, African food, Somalian food. So we're very inclusive and quite diverse. And what we find is that because we train them, we turn around, we employ them, that gives them a sense of belonging, and it provides them with hope. They get connected to restaurants. And one of the things that we would love to do through this restaurant week is to showcase not just our social enterprise, but also the excellence that we have fostered at Frontlines. We have some very excellent, very ambitious youth that come through our doors, and all they wanted was just the opportunity, and we provided that for them. So we would love to not just showcase our excellence during Restaurant Week, but also to hope that the community supports us, and that we also get some new restaurant partners who will absorb some of these youths as we try to provide placement opportunities for them. And we do have a 40% rate where once they get placement, we do have 40% who get employed by the organization that they're at. So that really speaks to the level of dedication and excellence that we push out at Frontlines Catering. There are other programs for youth, like the So You Can Cook, So You Think You Can Cook, where they learn how to cook. The young folks come in, we teach them how to cook, and they're excited. Some of them never really had the hands-on kind of illustration as to how to cook. So we give them that opportunity. And we also have the WOMP program, which we we kind of twin mental health components with cooking, where they talk about their issues, what's happening to them at school, or whatever they're going through at home perhaps. And what we find is that some of them, they actually share that they're being bullied, or they're encountering anti-Black racism, right? And I remember one of the popular creation that they came up with, and they actually named their food, their dishes. So Don't Jerk Me Around, for example, that was a piece that they created. Yeah, that really helped them to talk about bullying and how that's impacting them, and the fact that they can now express their feelings by putting that pizza together as a group. So really, we're just grateful for this opportunity that Roger is providing for us, and we really look forward to having a great week with you. We want to showcase all that we have, and of course, we want the community to come by and see what we are doing. And more than all, guys, everything that we generate, all the sales from our from our food, goes right back into supporting our youth, right? So it's a cycle for us. Whatever we generate supports a culinary program, gives more youth opportunities. We certify them, we give them CPR training, food handlers, you name it. So we send out a well positioned set of youth into the community once we're through with them.
Hey, thank you, Keisha. And I just want to point out, Dr. Vibe, that the Frontlines youth, Chef Marty disappeared for a second. The Frontlines youth, they're doing the serving of the food, of the work in the bar, and doing some of the past appetizers at our official
Nice
invite only to put that part in kickoff event on the 12th, right? So,
yes.
So they're the ones, and we've worked with them before. This is a FYI, and they're also providing samples at the event as well too. So it'll be our opportunity to taste their food, because I actually have not tasted the food at
Marty is back.
Wow, you're in for a treat.
Marty, sorry, I just slipped in for you for a quick second.
Okay.
You're in for a treat. And we will have some guest chefs as well. Chef Marty is definitely one of them. We have Chef Jeff. We have Chef Noella herself, and so we have a treat for you. And Chef Marty is going to kick us off on, I think, the first day. Chef Marty.
Yes, the first 2 days. Yeah.
There you go.
So the Monday and the Tuesday. Yeah. So yeah, we have definitely have some surprises for you. Doing some fusion foods, mixing different Caribbean cultures and African cultures. So that should be a lot of fun.
Okay. I just want to jump in before Roger continues. Fitness IQ Cam says, morning, everyone. And Frequency Event Promotion says, Frontlines is a great not-for-profit doing some amazing work. My heart is warm this morning. Great job, Roger. Yeah, this is Roger's showdown. I'm just filling in.
No. Great job, ByBlacks. There's a whole team of people. I'm just the person just speaking on behalf,
All right.
Press secretary.
Who's the next person we're going to feature?
So I'm going to jump over to Grills, Chef T. So Chef T, I want to say something about before. I have heard that his food is amazing, and I have not tasted it as yet. So myself, we're supposed to go there one Thursday, and he switched up on me, just to let you know. All right, we were supposed to have been there 2 weeks ago, but I'm coming there this week.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, Ryan, you can't come this week because I have a little, a little discomfort in the shop. So where I normally stay right now, the store I was sharing, the co-sharing, the lady sold the store. Emergency, she had some money issues. She sold it. So yesterday was my last day, and we're moving to Cloud Kitchens in Etobicoke next week on the 15th. Then second week of June, we're opening our new flagship branch on Bloor by High Park, 2100 Bloor. So your coming will be maybe like a couple weeks, not this week.
There you go.
It won't work. Because I have a lot of plans coming up, seriously.
I want to ask, what inspired you to get into the restaurant business, Chef T?
Okay, so I would say it's passion. That's the first thing I'm going to say because I remember when I came into Canada 2016, and I realized there was not a good flow of Nigerian food. It was a bit to find it. You have to drive a distance. It was very scarce. So I thought to myself, I said, well, since I love cooking and I enjoy this, what's the best thing to do? Let me just go into this Nigerian food, and I started making most of Nigerian food. Then I realized most of this our food takes too long and too much stress to make. So I chose the barbecue style, which is suya, because barbecue is something that is very common here. But suya, a very magical flavor, which is tastier than I found consider most of all the flavors in this world. Nobody knows it. When I went for the food trainer program, I realized nobody knew what suya was. So I told myself, I said, it's about time to take this suya to the world. And that is how Suya to the World, my slogan came up. And that was how I started working on the suya. I went for the food trainer program, and boom, that's how I started my grills location, co-sharing in Suya City. And that's what inspired my thing. I was just his passion and to give back to people.
How does that passion help you when you're having some of the downtimes that can happen in the restaurant industry?
Well, I would say because now, for example, people come up to me and be like, Chef T, mentor me, Chef T, talk to me, Chef T, I need some advice. And I'll be like, in this country or in this part of the world, I think restaurant is one of the hardest things to go into. And a lot of people jump in thinking it's so easy to make money in it, but they forget the back end is the most strenuous thing anybody can ever go to in this world. It's very stressful at the back end. And so I asked them, what if you don't make money for like 2-3 months? What are you going to do? A lot of people tell me, oh, I'll back out. I'll say, well, I've gone sometimes 3 months without making money. I'm making like maybe $1,000 in the whole of the month. And today I'm making like $20 in revenue in a month, sometimes or more. It took me a while to get there. So I would say resilience, the passion, and those two alone, I think I would say those two are one of the biggest factors.
Okay.
Roger, you want to continue on?
Yeah. So what's your what are you offering during restaurant week? What is the prefix menu? Or, no, you have a $10 special.
Yes, we have a $10 Anime burger with fries, the $10 special. So the burger comes, we have this bun that like specially made for us in the whole of Canada. It's called Agigi bread. It's a special kind of bread from Nigeria. We use it for our burn. And in between, we put the sirloin. We use sirloin beef steak, shredded sirloin, and put in between. It comes with fries. One of the tastiest burgers anybody will ever have. So we're trying to show it to the world, and we're so happy Restaurant Week had to involve us in this, which is an honor and a pleasure. So hopefully, this is another level for us to show our product to the world.
Nice. And then the last H, Honey Soul Food. Now, before I go into Honey Soul Food, I have to tell you that I went there, I had the food, and this is the thing. I am happy I don't live in Mississauga. No, man. These guys have perfected something there. That food was it was off the chain. That's what I would say about it. It was off the chain, guys. That cornbread. Shani, I had the intention to take some home with me, right? I had that full intention, and I sat down there like a glutton, and I ate everything. I couldn't leave. It was good, but please tell us about that journey of. I know that you guys had a bit of a journey to get to where you are, and fill in everything else, including the airport stuff. So please tell us the whole story.
All right. First and foremost, before Sinead there, thank you for having us on the show. And honestly, it's amazing to be around all of this Black talent. It's good because we don't really get a chance to get out there and see different Black businesses all over. Because you're so focused on your own, trying to get it up, you forget that we got so much people in the community going through all the same things. So that is a very amazing thing. And thank you for having us here.
Hello, everybody.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Roger's a thing. People don't leave the parking lot with that cornbread. It's a thing. They get a 3-pack and they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm taking it home. You know, you're not.
No,
They typically
no.
come right back in and order more because they ate those ones already.
Yes.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So don't worry. But I'm Shanae. I'm here with my co-partner here. His name is Jason. It is his birthday, so like love that. We started Honey Soul Food. I officially got my location in 2020. We opened doors April 2021, so we just celebrated 4 years.
Nice.
And it was essentially me and my dad who opened up the restaurant. And about a year in, Jason jumped on board officially. Jason's always been kind of like my co-consultant in the process. He had to, when I made my menu, I was a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for 16 years. So to open up a soul food spot and to be a vegetarian is absolutely insane. So he literally had to try and taste every single thing that we made. And he was always just a person I always consulted with business about. So when it came time and the opportunity came up for him to actually officially join Honey, I didn't even have to think about it. It was just like, yeah, let's do this. Let's run the world together.
Let's run the world together.
Together, wow.
I like that.
Let's run the world together. And I think
like Jay-Z and Beyonce, man.
Run the world.
We could take that.
Let me ask, the concept of basing your food on honey, where did that initiative come from? Where did it originate from?
That is interesting. The name was supposed to be a few different things. One being, I won't say it because we might want to take it another time, but Honey Soul Food really just, I guess it just kind of came to Shanae's mind when it just popped up. It just rang. And it's funny enough that the food didn't have honey in it to begin with. But we started adapting a little bit of honey on the cornbread. We would drizzle it. It was not supposed to be a main dish, but something just came out of it, out of the 66 tries of her forcing it down my throat, because that's what happened, right? I had to taste 66 tries of all of this cornbread. And you imagine, I think around that time, I absolutely gained about 5 to 10 pounds because it was that consistent. But it was a pretty amazing thing to kind of see where that cornbread pretty much has taken Honey Soul Food. And so ever since we started putting honey on it, and then we started adapting honey into some of the recipes and things like that. And so it started to be incorporated. And then we came up with a slogan with love the taste of honey in every bite. And it just stuck. And so from there, now honey is a big part of our identity, as well as the community that we work with Ken's Lingnam Honey, who is a big part of our restaurant. We like to have his stuff in the restaurant. We use it for certain items because it's just that good. But yeah, honey, I don't know, but it became a thing, and it's never leaving us now.
Nice. Roger, I'm going to have to try this cornbread because the best cornbread I've ever had is that my sister makes some serious cornbread. She knows if we're going to a family event, I won't come unless her cornbread's there. Actually, one time her cornbread wasn't at a family event and I left, but that's a whole other conversation piece.
This is a next level thing.
Next level.
Yeah, it was out of bounds, as you like to say. And I have to say something about the food too. That I purchased $22 worth of food, and that food I couldn't finish it. It was too much. It was so much money, but so value for money was there, right? And I had this jerk chicken sandwich, and again, I don't know what. I asked her. I said, "What is this sauce inside of this sandwich?" I don't know. I mean, it was so good. I mean, guys, you really have something there. The wings. I took the wings home. I took the mac and cheese home, and my kids devoured it. So that's my test. That's my litmus test. I take the food home to my kids, and I give it to my kids. If my kids really love it, that means that it's universal. So,
100%.
Really, really good job. So, just not to bias front lines and grills. I haven't been there yet. Guys, that's why I'm not talking about you guys like this, okay?
Yet.
You are in for a treat.
All right.
You're in for a treat.
All right. Just catching up on some comments. Frequency of Rent Promotion says, happy Jason. And also says, congrats with reaching 4 years. Frequency of Info says, on the ground, hearing some great things about your business, Honey Soul Food. Looking forward to connect. In the meantime, keep up the brand work. And the McMillan Group says that's an amazing and brave move to open up a soul food joint as a vegetarian. Congrats and continued success. Have a question from the audience. Mr. Wayne Harris has a question saying, what's the economic impact since inception for the participants?
That's a very good question. Because you know what, Wayne? We have seen restaurants grow, like Stacy's and Carib Dish and of course Mr. Camor's and all those guys. And then we've seen restaurants close down. So there's a myriad of reasons. But I can say comfortably that when I see a restaurant close down, it's typically one main reason. What do you think that is? Number one reason.
Consistency.
Lack of marketing.
Let's say branding.
Branding.
It's literally everything.
Yeah. There was one restaurant where the owner came into some legal problems and in my hometown here, and he had to shut down his restaurant. But he had he was the main chef, so it was difficult for them to keep on running the business after he got into those complications. But it was one of my top 5 restaurants. It was one of the best restaurants, Blackwood, in Canada. Right, so it was really high end and everything, and they've closed down. So the economic impact that we see is the business being able to continue and to grow and attract new customers, because you cannot survive on your existing, social media followers and everything. You need more customers than that. So that's the thing that what we hope for is that the awareness that Restaurant Week provides is just the new customer.
I have a conversation piece. What are some of the biggest challenges that each one of you as an entity are facing at this present time?
Great question.
We could take that on for just a moment to start there. For us, and I'll just touch upon the last thing that we were talking about there when it comes to branding, as Roger's saying, branding is one of the biggest things. Marketing is one of the biggest things that is going to propel your business to the next level. We've been fortunate enough when we opened up during COVID in 2021, where we were able to rely on the community of influencers. That essentially was our paid marketing. We have not spent, if we're going to be honest, maybe we could say we spent maybe about $1,000 in total in the past 4 years when it has come to marketing. Those are on the low end side that we're talking about, business cards and banners and stuff like that. But when it comes to actual brand marketing, we use the community, we're hoping for, but we use the community to propel our business through different channels. And we were able to show up in different markets. I remember in the first 2-3 years, 2021, 2022, 2023, for sure, Shanae and I were at every event. We were at every single event. You saw our logo, you saw our shirts, and you knew that cornbread was going to be there. And so we had a product that, again, it was a side product. We were not thinking, and I'm pretty sure Shanae was not thinking at that time, that this thing was going to be global in a sense. And it has become our icon at Honey Soul Food. And so when we realized what that product was, we said to ourselves, let's put this everywhere and anywhere we can. And we did some brand sponsorships. We did some really great catering with many different types of big businesses. And that also helped us echo our brand everywhere. And so when it comes to things that we're facing in our community, I would say for us, it might just be a staffing thing. And that's just the truth of it. Running a restaurant, as Chef T was saying, is the operation parts is one of the hardest things to do. And consistency is where you might fall and falter. And so, when you get that one review, that 1-star review a couple times over the past couple of months, it sometimes beats out all the 5-star reviews, because that 1-star review, it lingers, it sticks on you as an owner. And so I think for us, Shanae and I, we would say that just the human resource side about it is probably where we would love to get better in, excel in. We do hire a lot of young people. That is our key. That's our motive. We hire a lot of young people coming out of high school who are in early college, and we do that for a reason. And we want to make sure that our culture, our people is getting a voice. And so sometimes they may be coming in a little bit raw, and then we gotta teach them a little bit. We gotta help them a little bit. We gotta guide them. And so that might be some of the learning curves when it comes to our staff, but they're great people. And so I think if we continue on that path to building these young youth up, we're gonna have a real viable restaurant for the future.
Who wants to follow up on that? Anyone? Some of the biggest, I would say, opportunities. Let's put it that way, not challenges. Opportunities that you have.
For Frontlines, we are kind of caught in a little bit of a conundrum, in that every dollar that we generate, we are we're inclined to or kind of not even inclined, we're kind of mandated to pump that back into programming and to provide opportunities for more youth. And so that kind of restricts us in terms of, having the proper marketing tools and a complete kind of marketing outfit to ensure that we're, doing the right things at the right time, having proper branding, and so on and so forth. And so we're a little restricted, or where that is concerned. And so I really would love for us to, we're happy for support. For somebody who could assist us with building that out, being that, our dollar really goes back into supporting our youth. And so that's one of our kind of a drawback now for a social enterprise. If we were to get that dollar where we could actually invest in proper marketing, I'm pretty sure we could have more dollars coming in, generate more revenue, and then, of course, be able to support more of our community youth with that kind of certification, and allowing them to then become a part of the restaurant community and as employees. So that's where that's kind of our little conundrum at Frontlines.
Okay.
Chef
Anyone
T,
else? Go ahead, Roger.
No, I was just asking Chef T if he had a comment on the challenges.
Chef T, can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us. Anyone else about?
He has this moment. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. What was the question, please? Sorry, I missed it.
What are some of the opportunities / challenges that you're facing right now in growing what you have?
I would say for me, one of my biggest challenges is dollars. I'm sorry, I say dollars is marketing, because I know I spend a lot of money on marketing, but sometimes you think, or I feel, it does not make the right results that I expect. The ROA is not always what I expect. So I use a lot of influencers, and 70% of them, at least, or 80% always take some top dollars from me. So last year, let me just go example. From February last year to December last year, after doing my taxes, I realized I spent about $88,000 on marketing last year alone. I don't know if that's a lot compared to making a revenue of about $268,000, but I feel I should have done better. So this year, I'm really into that. Let me look at a way to expand my horizon again, because I've gone to Honey, the other guy said, we went to all the shows last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we've been all shows. But again, at the end of the day, I think I can make more than this. So right now, I'm trying to strategize to see what I can do better in marketing, and find out more opportunities for us to expand. Especially now that we're going to be having like 2 locations in the next 1 to 3 months.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that he touched on the point of influencers. I make a statement about influencers. It may not be the popular theory, right? But using influencers is great. First and foremost, it's great. Yes, it's like a shot in the arm. It's like an adrenaline shot in the arm. However, there are certain influencers that create a bigger impact than others. And the ones that create the biggest impact are the ones that are not charging you any money. And I'm
You got it so right. So right. So right.
Oh boy.
I'm talking specifically about somebody like Keith Lee, right? Who doesn't charge anybody any money. He just shows up, he buys the food, he pays for the food himself, right? Goes in his car, gives a review. If the review is bad, you're screwed. But if the review is good, like Old Nassau,
money.
There's a lineup at the door, right? So the thing is, we doing this program with limited funds. Believe me, we don't have no big budget. We seek sponsorship. Sponsors give us money, and then we spend all the money on the marketing, right? It's not fruitful for us to spend so much money on influencers. I'm just telling influencers, if you're hearing this, if you're watching it, just know that I can't justify taking a third or a fifth of my budget and giving it to one person. It's the return is not. I have not seen that return. I have not seen the lineup at the door, right? However, what we have seen is we have gotten restaurants in Toronto Star, for example. So let's talk about Stacy's Island Flavor, one of the biggest success stories. Pretty much unknown restaurant, a little place on Shepherd between Victoria Park and
Pharmacy.
Right? Pharmacy. Thank you. So she appeared on an article in Toronto Star. Her picture was on the front page of the food section. I went in the restaurant 5 days later. Everything was off the chain. The Uber Eats, skip the dish. The phone was just ringing, and there was a lineup, and it was busy. And it's been busy like that from May 2023 till now. I went there 1 month ago, and it was still busy. There was a lineup at the door. So that's a phenomenon of something that can happen. I haven't seen the same thing has happened to Old Nassau with Keith Lee, but the influencer charging $1,500 to $6,000, it doesn't translate for the restaurant. That's just my opinion. I mean, to be truthful with Stacey's, what happened is after the Toronto Star article, influencers started going there.
Yeah.
Right, so it was now on their map, and then they made the oxtail patty, stuffed patty viral.
Yes.
Right. So those are the types of things that will happen. Same thing will happen in Halifax, where you get a restaurant on CTV, or the CTV does this full story on all the participants, and they film it, and it's right on TV. Now it's a different audience. You see a whole different set of people coming in there because they would not have known about your restaurant otherwise, right? They're not following you. Right? The thing that I say to people is, my online mentor would say, try and take 10% of your revenue if you can, and put it back into advertising. I'm talking specifically like, forget about ByBlacks for a second. Go with, you have things like Google Ads, targeted ads for your area, because you don't want to add. You're in Mississauga, for example, but I'll come from Whitby, sure. So if you know that somebody will come from Whitby, so that should be your range, like a 50-kilometer range, right around Honey Soul Food, and you're marketing out. But you don't need somebody in Kingston, in Niagara Falls necessarily. They're not gonna come there on a regular basis. You want your low-hanging fruit. So that's the thing with a lot of people. That
is correct.
They're doing all this stuff, but it's not working because it's not in their target zone. So you need to focus on the target zone. You can also geo-target your ads on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. LinkedIn, I don't find is a big foodie platform. We've been doing this for years. It didn't work for us. Pinterest worked for us. TikTok worked for us. Instagram worked for us. And also a little bit of Facebook. And Google, of course.
Yeah. Well, people, you're getting some free game here. You're getting some free game.
And always be telling people what you have for sale. I mean, I look on some people's IG and there's nothing there. And I'm like, hold on, but this restaurant is open with a big menu. And I'm not seeing the pictures of the food on their IG, on their TikTok. It's a simple thing. You just before you hand it to the guest, to the customer, just take a picture of it. And that's a post, you know. What's a special for the day?
Yeah.
So that's for the big companies like Popeyes and KFC and all those guys. They have a special every day. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Go there, right? They're advertising that every day. So the whole week they're saying Mondays, this Tuesday, and then on the day of, hey, don't forget, it's you know, $5 for a 3-piece today. Every day. So you have to follow that thing. And really and truly, you know, I tell restaurants this all the time. You want to find, after you wake up in the morning and you say your prayers and do all that morning routine, maybe you go to the gym, whatever, right? Whatever you do, stop for 15 minutes and do your marketing before you start the cooking and everything else. Stop and do it. Do the schedule the posts, later.com, whatever you use it. Do that first.
And I just want to add on, because we do have some questions. I know that all you got to do what you got to do. There are resources out there where you can get people, even students who probably are better at things like social media that you are, right? That, because you got to realize, you want to make more money, either you're going to be the person to do it, or you got to get someone else to do it. And you've got to get the things off your plate so you can really focus in and zone in. Roger uses it. I use it. We have students who are really good at the things that we aren't that good at. That do it really well. For example, the promo you saw for ByBlacks Restaurant Week was done by a student.
I want you to show it again. Show it again before,
Before we leave, we'll show it again. But that's the thing, and they're excited to do it. Don't try to do everything on your own, or you're going to burn yourself out.
Burn out completely.
You burn out.
I also want to add something. Sorry, just kind of piggyback off of what Roger was saying. Another thing was niche marketing, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us, you know, started off in the restaurant industry, you know, coming up and even as a dishwasher, and then, you know, moving up that way, and then realize that, you know, this is our passion and we want to do our own thing. And, you know, a lot of us, we get into catering and stuff like that, and it's very, very easy to get lost in the sauce where you're just offering too many things. And a lot of times to really put yourself out there and to you know, gain an audience, you should focus on one thing. And I think that's very, very difficult. I myself went through it. I've been in this game for about maybe 10 years, and I just realized what I want to focus on. And then so now getting into the niche marketing and you know, really focusing on that specific product and pushing yourself, and then building on, you know, onto that. So
I'm going to throw another thing that Roger and I talk about. I'm going to ask each one of you. You don't have to answer it. When was the last time you did a survey of your customers?
Ooh.
I'm just gonna let that simmer. Any entrepreneurs who want assistance from me, that's one of the first questions, because how do you know what your clients want if you don't ask them?
Market research is very it's so important. Challenging, right? But very, very important.
The day I went to Stacy's after the article had broke, that was the 2023, and I asked everyone in the store how they had heard about the restaurant, because I've seen, you know, white people up in there. You know, I mean, I'm like, this is a regular Jamaican restaurant. This is typically where regular Caribbean people just go and buy their food. You know what I'm saying? So I was asking people, and they're like, yeah, so I can try the stars. So I can like, there you go, there you have it.
All right. All right. Well, we got a few quick things here. Comments. The Macmillan Group says it is great to see second, third, and fourth generation Caribbean and African immigrants carrying on the tradition of our food. Our food is such an important part of our culture.
Yes.
He also says, agreed, Roger. The targeted restaurant audience is possibly no more than a 30-minute drive for most consumers. Imagery is also important, both of the food and the location.
And the story. So people are emotional about food. If somebody can tell me, I'm very emotional about food. As I say, I'm very intentional about buying food from Black-owned restaurants. So that's my first thing that I look for. Right? I don't look for anything else. I look for a Black-owned restaurant first. That's an emotional buy. And I would say that there's so many people, since it's been exacerbated since George Floyd. that people have now gone into this. You know what? Let's keep this money in the community thing. It wasn't. It was. I would say most people weren't on that tip. Let's just agree. It wasn't that thing. But now people are doing it more. So they're looking for somebody call me, and I get calls all the time. Hey, where can I go to celebrate my wedding anniversary, a birthday? I have 30 people, I have 50 people, I have 60 people. A company just called me and they said, hey, where can I go to Mississauga? And I sent them to Honey Soul Food. Did you get the call? There you go. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. It's an emotional thing too.
Absolutely. Question from Wayne Harris. Wayne Harris has a question. Restaurants can be busy and dangerous places to work. What do each of you have in place to ensure continuity should you not be able to perform your duties?
Wow. Excellent question. Wayne is selling disability insurance. I can tell you that much. And you should have it. You should have it. So if you need some of that in place, reach out to myself or Roger, and we can give you his contact information, because it is something you should have, because things are going to happen, and if you're not in place for those things that happen, it could be challenging. But who wants to take on that question?
Can you throw it back on the screen real quick?
I'd love to. My producer, for some reason, took it off, so I've got to find it.
So I make sure I'm answering the right question.
I think I want to speak first before Jason jumps in. Jason was the one that really had to teach me this and how to have this business continue without me, or when I'm not there. And I was never the person to be like, yeah, I'm going to be working my restaurant for the rest of my life. I've always come from a management side within the hospitality industry. So I always knew you need a team, you need to train the team, and the team would then run the ship. But I guess because this is mine, because I started it, because of the blood, sweat, and tears, I was always so emotionally attached to this business. And I think that's also something that you need to focus on, because I could be hurt. There's been days where I can't walk. There's been days that I've been sick, and I'm still there, right? Mm-hmm. So it was really Jason that had to force that in me in order to be like, your team has it. You trust your team. You know that your team knows what they're doing. Step away, in a sense. But yeah, all the insurances are very important, because you got to protect yourself at the very back end of it all.
Yeah.
Chef T,
he's having some connectivity issues, so someone else jump in.
Operations and systems. Shanae and I, we have two different backgrounds. She'll come from the hospitality. I've dealt within corporate and human resource pretty much my career until we came together. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, but having two different backgrounds, or having different people on your team that could, bring out different things, have a little bit of some diversity, is going to be key to the success of your business. Because if everybody is thinking the same thing, if we're all thinking that we got to work like ants, work hard every single day, work for the colony, all of those things, we are going to, and I'm using that analogy because they're working hard. Ants are hard workers, and we're going to wear ourselves out. And so Shanae is saying, we got to build a team. We got to build a team of trustworthy young people that we want to uplift, give them the power to lead and make business decisions on our behalf. We have a 17-year-old, and I keep forgetting this all the time that she's 17, but we have a 17-year-old who opens up the store on the weekends.
Wow.
Keys, everything. We don't even, I think we call time to time. If there's a catering, we'll call. If not, let us know if you need anything. And that is the type of business that we want to run. And that's the type of business we want our young people to start running as little as they are, because they're going to be able to do magnificent things as they grow. And so that is our kind of ByBlacks for the community, and that's what we do. So
I love it. I want to plant a seed. I want to plant a seed on something. And I mentioned it earlier, and I'm planting this seed so that everybody who watches this live or on a replay can do it. You see, because, historically we were Black-owned restaurants were historically takeout restaurants. I would say up to 10 years ago, maybe 90% or higher were just takeout, right? Now it's probably about 75%. A takeout restaurant, or even a hybrid like yourselves, I call you a hybrid because you do have the chairs there available to sit down. You are ripe for being a franchisor. So, Jason, if you have that systems experience, if you refine that system, document all the processes, secure your rights for your menus and everything, right? For everything, then it's easy now to package that and say, hey, because I live in Whitby, of course, Durham. I'm going to say, come to Durham first.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, it's easier to franchise. If you think about places like Barbarito, those guys started. It's not a very old franchise.
No.
Right? No. So it's not like a KFC or a Wendy's. And even those guys, when they started out, they didn't think at first that it would be what it is today. But if you're thinking a little like to Channy's point, you don't want to be in it every day like that. You want to have the 17-year-olds, whatever age they are, managing the different locations.
Yeah.
So it's actually our mission, like our mission statement at Honey is ending generational poverty through ways of access.
Oh, okay.
So it's our goal to franchise 100%.
Awesome.
Is expensive.
Love that.
And people always say, like, even getting a big chain restaurant is whoa, but even starting like your own mom and pop shop, it's actually still very expensive. So what we're doing right now is we're actually opening up a restaurant. Well, we have opened up Cornbread Cafe. We've been in Stacked Market and Billy Bishop Airport. Mm-hmm. Essentially, we're taking Cornbread Cafe and all the goodness that is, and then turning it into a space and a system that people can buy into. So you could have your own Cornbread Cafe, whether it's an express version or it's a dine-in restaurant. And it's going to be super affordable. And we're going to have a system set up that you can even do something where you're you're renting to own, right? So it doesn't have to be one big upfront payment. Because we want to be able to see more people like us. Like, we were 30 years old with $1 million company, right? How many people can say that is my success story? Yeah. So, and the opportunities that we can do and have because of this restaurant is one restaurant. Imagine if you had 2, 3, 4 of them, right? So it's 100% franchising, 100%. That is what we're doing. We want to start it off with Cornbread Cafe first. And actually, we were actually invited to New York next month because of our cornbread. And we're going to be doing an event out there. And essentially, if an American market opens up first, we want to take it global, essentially.
Get them American dollars. Get them American dollars.
Hey, 400 million versus 40 million. It's much more black people too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, there is a little problem down there, but hey, we won't talk about
it. Well, if a certain man wants to come into that restaurant, you're going to let him in? We ain't going to go there. That's a whole other
That's They have to serve burgers, man. Burgers are fried.
Yeah, all right. Anyone else want to jump on this question? Because we have a few. The audience is loving it. And I know we're just past the top of the hour. If anyone has to leave, please, you're not obligated to stay on any longer. But there are more questions as people want to know and are interested in what you're all doing and want to see you succeed. If anyone has to jump off, no problem. But here's another question we have here. Macmillan Group says, with Caribbean and African restaurants typically being buy and flash, how challenging or not has it been to open a full-service dine-in restaurant given the nature of the consumer?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Do not go into the business. And I love my black people. I love everything about what we offer in this world. But do not go into any business, and I got to say this, thinking that black people is going to be your only target market.
100%.
Okay? That is where we are going to find ourselves in some trouble. We love our food. But at the end of the day, our food is heavy. It is going to be tough. And for us, a lot of times, black folks are our biggest critics. It is a tough thing that happens, but it is what it is. And so to just start up a restaurant and then that being your target market, that's going to drive you into. You got to think about be strategic in how you want you know a diverse target market to come to your business, come explore your business, come, you know, uplift your culture and get it out there to the world. That is where you're going to find some success for sure.
Because we do a lot of catering, and our clients that are booking our catering, there's Black people, we have Black clients, but most of them are white collar white people downtown who don't ideally know much about soul food, but they love the flavors, right? And so I remember the other day somebody had asked me, like, how do we get all these catering orders? We must spend a ton on marketing. And I was just like, it took me a moment. I got emotional about it, but we've actually never had to spend $1 when it comes to marketing, in the sense of catering, because everything has always been, your branding is represented at these caterings that you're at. Now for feeding 100 people, that's 100 new eyes that are going to want to order from us, right? So it's like, sometimes you think who your target audience is, don't be afraid to explore outside of that.
Yeah. One of my team members told me that they had your company cater an event that they were doing. Hillary LeBlanc.
Hillary LeBlanc. Yeah. We're actually going to be catering a new podcast that they're doing in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So that is great.
Yeah. Chef T is home with his daughter now. Lovely. Yeah,
I went to buy the food when you were talking to me, so I just got back home with her.
Say hi.
All right. Got another question here. Frequency of promotions. When you say your business has marketing challenges, if money was not an issue, what would marketing look like for your restaurant?
Great question, guys. I want to hear the answer.
I know you do.
For someone like me, marketing is going to be crazy. If money is not an option, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to be on CNN, CTV, everywhere, showing my food to the world.
And I love that answer. I think because we had a different experience with the past 4 years, if money was not an option, I think the easiest thing that we would do is just put the product in people's hands everywhere we go. If the money was not an option, that money would actually just go back into the restaurant so that we could produce product and then just hand it out to people, put it in their hands. Testimonies is going to be one of the strongest marketings. That, you know, that's what influencer marketing is. It's just testimony. And so that is where I think a lot of the money would go to, back into the restaurant, make more products, put it in people's hands, and let them showcase it. That's always going to be the most powerful tool.
Yeah, and for frontlines, if money was not an issue, we would want to be even on TV. You know, we want to be on TV. We want to have billboard ads. We want to have our brand or logo popping up all over Union Station, Go Train, and TTC. You know, all of those places. That's where we would ideally want to have our catering. QR codes and stuff. That's where we would want to be. Yeah, we would want to be in the moving traveling public where they can see us, hear us, feel us. Yeah, that's what we would love, because I think there's a great opportunity for us.
I want to go back to something that Jason said, because when one of the things I do, you noticed when I came there, Shani, I just sat down and just observed. And what I loved about sitting down and observing was the clientele was so diverse. Like everybody, like, Asian, South Asian, Middle Eastern, Black, white. There's so many different people, and a lot of people, by the way. It was lunchtime and there was a lineup there, so that was good. The same thing I saw at Stacey's, but Miss Little Moore's China, and I swear about this. When you go there, sometimes I would say it's more like, I swear to you, it was like 65% Asian. Yes. The clientele, and it's all Jamaican, Caribbean food. It's and high price, probably one of the best restaurants in terms of full experience. Music, location, dine-in, service, the whole 9 yards. And it's not really populated by a lot of Black folks. So yeah, it is what it is. But we're only 4% of the country, right? So we can't expect to be the end all be all for any business. We are not ByBlacks, so our clientele is not. It's not. I would say it's 80% non-melanated. Believe it or not.
There you go. I'm going to say another comment here. Frequency of prevent motions. It goes back a little bit. It's quite diverse in terms of customers over at Stacy's restaurant. To Roger's point, you are right. Also, Food Security Fund says continuous training programs in corporate hospitality establishment is the reason why you can scale to 100, 150 of the same restaurants.
Yeah.
Frequency of motion says, honey, soulful, you all smart.
Dang right.
And so I think Tim Frey was a person who behind the Food Security Fund. Mr. Harris comes with another good question. Front of house versus back of house, food costs, waste, theft. How do you handle it systematically?
Ooh, wow. We in with a tough question.
As a restaurant, you need to have a great CRM system. That is, and I guess for us is a little bit different than other restaurants, I could say. But we have an in and out system, just in, just out system. So everything is made to order. We're able to keep track of all inventory at all times, just because we order based off of what the demand was like the last week and what we're forecasting for the next week. And so it's easier for us when it comes to the inventory management. And having that CRM system, we're also able to track our staff when it comes to staff meals. We're able to track all of these small things that we could understand where that money is going to, that food cost, the waste, and stuff like that. And the theft, that is a hard thing to try to find out at first. But if you have a good POS system, if you have a good deposit system, if you have a good system of training the staff, you're going to have less theft. And if you believe in your staff more and create leaders in them, you're going to have less theft. So I think one of the other questions before, or one of the other statements, is definitely the investment in the hospitality and people is where you're going to see less and less of the food cost, less and less of wastage, less and less of theft. Because if they care about your business, if your staff cares about your business, as if they own your business, you're going to see your business in a different way. They're going to start, in a Caribbean household, if you ever walk by something and you saw it on the ground, your parents would say, pick it up. You're walking right past it, you're just looking at it, they say, pick it up. It's the same thing when it comes to your restaurant or your business. If you could see that your staff on a daily basis is picking up things as they walk in, they see a straw on the ground, they see a napkin on the ground, and they picking those things up. Those are the people that you need to invest more time in and more efforts and more money into, because those are the people who are going to carry your business when you're not there. So for all of these things of the front of house and the back of house, the food costs and the waste, your people are your greatest asset. And that is where you're going to systematically be better.
And anyone else want to add to that?
For front lines, well, I should declare that this interview should have been done by our chef or culinary manager, Noella. But it so happened that she had already booked her time off to coincide with spring. And so that's why I'm here today. But Noella, she's great at what she does. She has been managing culinary departments for quite a while. And I know that she has some very strong internal measures and structures that she has put in place. But more so, just as Jason mentioned, we invest, our students are a part of our family, to be honest. They essentially become a part of our staffing, and all of our staff, we're, to be honest, it's like a family setting. Everybody knows the value of our culinary department, and everybody knows the impact that it has on the lives that it touches. And so we're all in it for the same reason. And so I think, just as Jason mentioned, once you have that human resource buy-in and that commitment and dedication, then those are some of the things that you don't have to worry about. So we are not so, from what I understand at least, and Noella would be able to speak more about that, but I don't think we have some of those issues. And I know that Noella would have put all the measures in place to manage for those. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, before we go, so I'll just say this year we forego the T-shirts and we did some aprons. So every restaurant is gonna be getting those. Aprons are.
They like that. They like that.
The aprons can fit anybody. So the last time when we were doing T-shirts, we're like, oh, small, extra large. They're just like, bro, forget that. Let's do one size fits all apron, and that's something that restaurants really appreciate.
They can use.
Yeah, they can use
every day.
The person at the register. The other thing that I wanted to do was I want to today give away a $50 gift certificate for all the 3 restaurants on here today. So that's Grills, Honey Soul Food, and Frontlines. We
appreciate you.
So you send me the mechanism of how I can do it, whether I do an email money transfer, or if you have, depending on your POS system, I know some guys have the fancy online system where they can just send me the gift certificate and I'll pay for it, whatever. All right. But so Dr. Vibe has a mechanism on how to do a contest. So we're going to give 3, 1 for each company.
All right. But
I'll get the money to you. My word is my bond.
Yeah. And if you don't, you contact me and I'll make sure he does it. So that's all right. A few more conversation pieces. Frequency event promotion says food sampling plus reviews plus billboards. Also, he says there's power in diversity. Ray McMillan says, I know Canadian weather can be unforgiving. Yes, because he's down in Florida right now. He says, but do any of you use food trucks as a way to build your brand when the weather permits?
I don't think any of these guys have food trucks.
No. Okay.
That's expensive.
It's like 40 G's just to get a truck and outfit it.
100%.
But of what I've seen online, because I looked at it.
And then you're limited to where you could operate.
Yeah.
Correct. You have to get a license and everything. Yeah.
You can see your brand promotion says, got to run. Looking forward to connect with you all. Remember, this branding is what marketing is, and the how is advertising is to stay consistent. See you. And then I think this is a fun. So this, I guess, 2 last things. One is I am friend Matt says, if you were only allowed to keep 1 dish on your menu, which one would you keep and why? This is a good question.
Dang. I know what Honey Soul is going to say.
That cornbread.
Cornbread. And they drizzled it with honey for me too, from the same guy. What's his name again?
Lignum Honey from Ken Lignum Honey.
I posted a video on your review on Google, by the way, so you should have seen it. Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
You're welcome.
We're still looking.
Frontlines has we have our jerk pork sandwich. That's a must try. We have we have the Calypso sweet and spicy chicken sandwich as well. All of our sandwiches, we have an array of very tasty, delectable, and they're all flavored with, kind of Caribbean and African spices and flavoring. So you're going to feel and smell, and you're going to just experience all of that. So we're looking forward to just sharing everything with you guys during ByBlacks week.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got all the choices down.
Grills, Chef T.
Chef T.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
What would be if suddenly you were allowed to keep 1 dish on your menu, which would you keep and why?
I think I'm gonna keep my agege burger, because it has gone. It's almost, I would say it's gone viral, but I still find out some people don't know about it. So I would say it's one of my best, and I won't like to let it go because burger is a universal dish, and now infusing with an African infusion, makes it different. So it's like you're eating a burger that's out of this world. So I'll keep my burger.
So I have a question before we go into the giveaway.
Yeah.
What's your favorite other Black-owned restaurant? I think I know.
Are you asking me? No.
Yes, I'm
asking all of you.
That you've been to, obviously.
Okay. Because they are next to me, Don Caribbean, because I love Jamaican food. It's Jamaican, Mexican, and Thai. So anything that has no spice, I can eat.
That's actually my family restaurant.
What?
Oh, that's a family?
Yeah, Don is my uncle.
That curry goat is bad.
I'm telling you, the oxtail, the rice and peas, everything.
Yes.
They're
just on Mayfield. I live in Brampton.
Okay, Roger, we got to hit that place.
Yeah, we got to hit that spot.
We got to hit that spot. This is wow. That's cool.
You know, I don't cook. I cook regularly, right? I cook.
You don't cook, and I've not met you in my restaurants. Wow.
Hold on. But during restaurant week, I cook nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So I'm buying food from multiple restaurants all week for lunch and dinner all week.
Wow.
Just so that you know.
Nice.
I have to save for it. I have to save them.
Well, look who's here. Station. It's just so great to see Frontlines as part of this great initiative. Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
I miss you, Station.
Yes. Okay. One more question from Wayne Harris, then giveaway. Wayne Harris says, attraction, training, and retention are keys to your successful continuity. Yeah. What are you doing to ensure your best people stay with you? Ooh.
Wow. Wayne with the tough questions, man. Please.
So Wayne, you better visit all these restaurants because you're giving them, you better support them because you're going in hard on them.
He does. He's coming to the kickoff event.
Yes.
The number one answer is pay them. That's the only answer.
Very true.
You gotta pay them.
Incentivize them.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say invest in them. That's one of our biggest things. And
very true.
Our staff are still very young. I think the oldest person on our team is 26.
Wow.
So it's like we collect tips also at Honey, but a portion of those tips go into this thing called house. And essentially what we do from the house pile, we just give people money. They do something that was a bit of above and beyond. Here's $50 or here's a gift card. So we incentivize them in a way, but it's also just investing in them. Like I genuinely know how one of my staff's mom is doing. And I just ask, I'm like, so how's your mom? Their family now comes into the restaurant, supports the restaurant. It's just about caring. But you have to be genuine. You have to be genuine how you do it.
I just want to jump in on that. And it's one of the things when I'm looking to have new people on my team, I ask them, what is your goal, dream, and desire? And they say, why are you asking? Because if I can help you in any way get closer to your goal, dream, and desire, they'll say, oh, this person cares about me, not just as an employee, but as a human being.
Yep.
Right? Like money, yes, money is great, but especially young people in our age group, when they see that someone really cares about them, because we don't know what they're dealing with outside your restaurant. That is a big differentiator, just for me.
Shani, she knows what they're dealing with because that's what she said.
Exactly.
Not to fast into their business, but you understand what challenges that they're having and everything. I think that's something that we try to do here at ByBlacks.
But it's about learning. Like growing up in the industry, I remember I always said, I wish my boss was this way. I wish they cared that I was going through, like I'm dealing with my mental health. I wish they cared, right? And I was always a great employee, no matter what my boss was like. But now that I am that boss, it's like I can now be that person that I wish I had when I was younger. And that is kind of what motivates me. And also just to see the way that the kids buy into the business is more than enough. One of our staff wanted to celebrate his 16th birthday at the restaurant. I'm just like, I mean, sure, but okay. And I gave him the entire place. He had it at till I think it was 1 a.m. And then I saw him up afterwards and I was just like, God bless you. But it's and now two of his friends at the restaurant, you have to buy into your people. Genuinely buy into your people.
100%.
I like that. I really like that. I really like that.
Okay, one more last question. Dr. Tati says, what new items are you looking to add to your current menus?
Big up Dr. Tachi for that question.
Yeah, I like the question.
We do have a new menu that is dropping next week. Yes.
Right.
What?
So stay tuned.
Oh, Dr. Tachi's in Fort Lauderdale, so she's we're trying to get her up here during the summertime because she don't do cold.
Don't blame her. Don't blame her.
Don't blame her.
Middle of July, Dr. Tachi.
Yeah. Anyone else looking to add something new to their menu or offerings?
I'm trying to add vegan options, because we Africans are more of Nigerians are all meaty people. So I want to add some salads and some new vegan options so that I can call in those crowd too. Because a lot of vegans come around me and, oh, do you have plant-based? Do you have vegan options? So I'm thinking of that, right? I'm already working on that for my new location.
Well, Dr. Tachi is of Nigerian background, so she hear you.
Yeah, and at Frontlines, we offer gluten-free and vegetarian options. Well, it's not really new that we're doing that, but we definitely offer gluten-free options and vegetarian options.
Okay.
So yeah.
As for myself, I was predominant, as I was talking about earlier about niche marketing and whatnot. I was predominantly doing catering, so corporate catering, working with schools and whatnot. And I'm actually rebranding and shifting towards strictly focusing on barbecue and barbecue influenced sandwiches from around the world. So, stay tuned for that and have a lot of fun. Yeah. So right now I'm actually at a farmer's market every Sunday, and I do predominantly sandwiches there. So I'll be showcasing a few things there. And then of course at the ByBlacks Restaurant week. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. So look out for the menus at Frontline.
I'm so happy I'm invited to that.
I think everybody on this call is invited.
Yeah, well, looking forward to hanging out with each one of you.
Yeah, because you want to try different restaurants and try different, there's 4, for those people that drink alcohol, there's 4 Black-owned brands that are going to be sampling at the event. Wine, beer, vodka, and rum punch.
Wow, beautiful, nice.
So that might alter your choices when you go into the LCB. You may say, you know what? Let me look for that product instead.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Dr. Chachi says vegan suya would be amazing.
Oh yeah,
I agree. There's a lady at Viola that makes vegan the plant-based meats. I tried it with suya. It was lovely.
Mushrooms and tofu. If you freeze the tofu first and hard tofu, freeze it and then season it with the suya. So I do a lot of suya as well. It's amazing. So
are you Nigerian?
No. I'm Grenadian and Vinci. My wife is
this guy. What you're crossing your territory? Go to Vinci and get a fight, man.
Well, you might be Nigerian, you have to do that DNA.
He's Nigerian in his 7th generation away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Because I'm half Grenadian, and we have strong ties with Nigerians because they fought with the Grenadians in the war with the U.S. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I will try that freezing tofu because as I was looking, I don't know how to use tofu. Never used tofu, but I'm trying to work on those things and see how I can perfect myself.
Oh, very easy. I think once we link up at Restaurant Week, we should all exchange contacts.
Yes.
I'll be there next week Monday. I'll see you.
Oh yes, exactly. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, it's giveaway time. Roger, you ready?
I'm ready.
To us.
All right.
Hold on.
I'm ready. Just got to click on this.
I'm ready. My account number is here already.
First one is for the grills. Chef T, grills.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
I'm trying to draw.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a burger for myself today.
No, so
she can't win because
Dr. Tachi won.
She's in Florida. She can't do it.
Yeah.
We'll go to another one. Here we go. And you've got to be in the GTA area. Let's see if there's going to be someone else. Friend Matt, I don't know if you're in the GTA. Something tells me you're not, but if you are, I'm going to go again. Because we got so many people across North America. Let's see. Wayne Harris.
All right, so Wayne got the grills.
All right.
Wow.
$50.
So Wayne, you're a winner. Next up.
Next up is Honey Soul. Frontlines.
You can see event promotions.
Yeah, are we documenting this, Dr. Vod?
I can. Well, I'll just. Well, you should. You're doing the giveaway. I'm trying to manage this.
Hold on. I'm gonna.
Okay. and then we've got one more after this, and then final comments, and we can let these wonderful people get to their day. And I'm excited to meet them next Monday. And if you have time, I'd love to do some quick one-on-one conversations with you and record it.
Not a problem.
Roger, you tell me when you're ready for the last draw.
Let's do it.
Okay. You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go.
So this is for the honey soul food. Am I on the list?
Station. All right.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
That is wonderful. And I have to give a big shout out to Shanae, because she and Station, it's ironic, I was going to mention this with Station. She had a great event a few months ago for Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and encouraging Black men to become big brothers. And there was this wonderful, I was blessed to MC the event, and there was this wonderful group of Black queens that were sitting a few rows from me. And I said, whenever I do an event like that, I always like to document it. So I came up and I said, who is this Black man? And then Shannon said, hey, how you doing? I said, could you record what I do? She goes, absolutely.
Oh.
So I have to say, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was nothing. I was just holding it. It was,
yeah.
What a connection.
Yeah. So it's a small world. So I know Roger's going to ask this. I think you may have asked it already, but what are you offering during ByBlacks Restaurant Week?
So for us, we are offering we're offering just smaller versions of our signature plates. And so typically they're like $16. And so for $10, people will be able to have our signature plates, which include like our mac and cheese, our wings, our Asian shrimp, fried chicken, tenders, all that good stuff, and still get the cornbread included.
Oh, Roger, when you picking me up? When you picking me up?
You're not home today, eh? You're not home today. Are you open on Mondays?
We're open 7 days a week.
7 days a week. There you go.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll let you know, though. I'll let you know.
Please. I
am going there. Yes.
All right. Is anyone else who hasn't shared what they're offering during Restaurant Week?
Frontline has
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to share, Roger? You can go.
No. I was just about to say that they have a lot of different options.
Yeah. So
yes,
I'll be there.
So we have the Calypso sandwiches on Tuesday. We have the Calypso sweet and spicy chicken sandwich or jerk pork sandwich on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have the vegan curry chickpea and pumpkin and coconut rice. There'll be shrimp paluria and cassava fries with a mango tamarind dip. On Thursdays, there's going to be jollof with jerk chicken and coleslaw. And on Friday, we're going to have a fish fry, the good old fish fry. So yeah, we're excited about that. And Chef Noella is going to be there with us during the week. So she will be driving all of this, and you'll get to meet her firsthand. Yeah.
Where are you guys going to be? Like what, at the Western Road?
Yeah, at Western Road.
Western Road? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Order and pick up.
Okay.
Order online and pick up.
Absolutely. Order online. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to say thank you to each one again for taking the time to hang out with us this morning. Frontlines, much thanks. I used to hang out in that area at Yojima House. Used to work there for a number of years, so very familiar with Frontlines and encouraged to see that it's still going strong and getting better. Their contact information is there also on the platforms that I broadcast on. It's in the comment section. Grills is in the house. There we go. That's also in that area. Thank you for taking your time. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And Honey Soul Food, who's going to break is going to work on breaking the tariffs. Yeah, you're going to work on breaking the tariffs. You're going to go down there and just break the tariff thing, right?
As soon as he has some cornbread, he's going to be like, empty it. Get rid of it. I don't know.
Here's another intersection point, Dr. Vibe. Yeah. Both Chef T and Honey Soul went through the Foodpreneur Lab program, I believe.
Exactly. I mentioned that. Yeah. And we definitely gotta hail up Foodpreneur program, and especially Janice Bartley for the tireless hard work that she does to help the Black restaurant.
And the excellence that is driven into the foodpreneur, the food entrepreneurs. I mean, pretty much everybody who has gone through that program and come out on the other side, just piece of chalk.
Yeah. And if you haven't met Janice, I'm pretty sure she's going to be there next Monday. I'm going to ask each one of you, have you met her? If you haven't, I'm going to bring you over directly to meet her because that's someone I know you need to know and meet. So
like Tisha, I think she would be a good person to have come and talk to your current cohorts, your current students. Yeah.
Yes.
Motivate them and just to envision what's possible. Because look at Honey Soul Food and Chef T. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Very important.
Yes.
Very good. Well, to each one of you, I always say, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And always, too, remember to give yourself grace. Because it is a hard industry you're in. It's very hard to, make sure you give yourself grace. I'm going to ask you when I see you next week, what do you do to get away from this? So get ready to have that question. Dr. Vibe's coming for you at that because I don't want to hear you work 24/7. It won't work. But blessings to all you. Be well and keep the faith.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you so much.
My pleasure and honor. See you next Monday.
Have a beautiful day. See you next Monday.
Yeah, all right. Take care. All right. We are good. All right.
Hey. Well, that was a very good conversation. Excellent conversation.
Well, look who I was doing it with.
No, man. It's the chefs. I mean, I love the diversity too in the different organizations. Different types of cuisine, and even with Frontlines, I think that's an organization I've been supporting for a little while now. If you remember, at our anniversary event at Tropicana in 2020, right before COVID, it was them. It was their team that was doing the survey.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Frontlines youth. They helped me, so they're going to be back again next week, Monday.
Monday is going to be some kind of evening.
It's crazy. I mean, it's 12 6 food vendors. For like we have Joyce Jamaican Eatery. We have Grills. I'm drawing a blank right now.
It's all right. I am fasting during the day. Let's just put it that way.
There's Taste Jamaica. They have the dessert. There's Edible Bliss 11. There's Frontline.
Oh, so good to see you. It's so nice.
Yeah, and then there's Frontlines as well. And then on the beverage side, there is Mascot Brewery. They have 3 locations now, by the way.
Yes. It's actually one. What's interesting, and I think you and I remember a few years ago, Janice had an event there.
Yeah, correct.
And that's the first exposure I got to that place, and the place in the West End of Toronto.
Nice. Narai Sellers.
Is he going to be there, Steve?
Yep, Steve.
We
have David Peart with Hip Vodka, so it's flavored vodka, watermelon vodka, pineapple vodka, I believe. Then there's CJ's Punch. They are actually out of Ajax, so they're right beside me. And then there's Bold Lemonade and Classic Juice. You guys, another Classic Juice also went through the Foodpreneur Lab program.
Wow. It's going to be some reacquainting with people. I haven't seen Steve Byfield in
forever.
I interviewed him. Yeah, I had him on the platform way back. That's going to be amazing. That is, and it's invite only. Sorry, folks, but I will certainly be there documenting and maybe do some live stuff from there. Oh, the food plane says, "Oh no, I'm late to the party." Hello, Dr. Vibe DS here. You're a food guy. you know, you missed out, but definitely watch the replay. And we have another segment coming up on Friday with some more participants and ByBlacks Black Restaurant Week. Sir, I should let you go because you've got some traveling to do today.
I do. I was just trying to find some information. And
well, while you're doing that, I'm going to just do some final things here. So as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Discord group. Email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, or click on the link you see on the screen. It's also in the comments sections in a lot of places. Advertise your business, product, or service on the show. Email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Don't forget, this is the link, byblacks.com/restaurant week to find out more information. What else do we want to put?
The sixth food vendor is actually Chef Karima. That's who it is.
Wow, I haven't seen her. Haven't seen her in a long time.
Yes, to pull out the stops, man. I mean,
this is good. This is good.
Yeah. So
Don't
everybody
forget.
has different food. That's the
Yeah.
thing too. You know, when you're sampling, it's not just the same. Nobody's serving the same thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
ByBlacks.com, all the information there. And that's only partial. I couldn't fit it all. It would take 3 lower thirds to fill everything out. That's a good thing. Ryan, there's his information, RyanOneilKnight.com, Ryan Oneil Knight, and that's with a KN, not an N.
Yes,
and Instagram at Ryan.Knight99. Email workwithme, RyanOneilKnight.com. Myself, the Dr. Vibe Show, website, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, the Dr. Vibe Show, X, DRVIBESHOW. I'm going to be posting on X for a little bit, believe it or not, and email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. You can also catch me on Substack at drvibe.substack.com/subscribe, and on Blue Sky, drvibe.bsky.social. And you can catch replays of this epic conversation on a number of places. And also want to hail up BOF.
Yes. Gotta say thank you to the Black Opportunity Fund, TD Bank, ACBN, Quell No, and all of the destination marketing organizations that are supporting the restaurants in their regions or their cities, and all of the Black community associations that are supporting their regions and their cities as well. You know, the ACBN has been a steadfast supporter of Restaurant Week ever since we started. And you know what? I did want to point out that there's one restaurant that has been doing this from the get-go. I believe they have done the 8 versions of Restaurant Week. And if anybody can guess that right now, if you can guess the name of that restaurant right now, we will give you a $50 gift certificate to go to that restaurant. If you can, I'm just gonna give it a minute to see who can post that in the comments.
Okay, and Hayden Morrison says, "What's going on Monday and where?" Well, it's an invite only for ByBlacks Black Restaurant Week. So if you're not invited, unfortunately, you'll have to hang out with me online, and you'll see who's hanging out there. Do we have any people who are willing to guess a restaurant from day one? Day one. I don't think.
Let me give you a clue. Let me give you a clue. They're in Toronto. That's all I'll say.
And actually, you know, I know how much you love Miss Licklemore's, but Lonnie is all over Top Chef Canada.
Yes, she's not she couldn't participate this year because she was under pressure. She had new staff coming in. She was doing training. She has a new location opening up in DC. It was madness.
But you know, she is on a number of the competitions. She is one of the people tasting the food.
Yeah.
Like I was watching on replay a while ago. What is this? Is this Top Chef Lonnie? Like every episode, I'm seeing her on there. But great for her.
Yeah,
Great
I
for her.
was-
And actually, on one of the episodes, they actually went into her kitchen, and two of the chefs were cooking in her kitchen.
Wow, 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 wow.
So I got to big up and got to send her a message. Shit, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I think
don't think
nobody guessed it.
No, we're going. So Roger, thank you as always. Travel safe today. We're back on Friday with part 2 of Restaurant Tours. All right. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and make it better. And thanks everyone for watching live or in the replay. And if you're in the GTA next week, not only next week, before next week, try it now. Try it today. Don't wait for next week. Try it all the time. Be well and keep the faith.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.